it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior Live. I'll be your host today. Please put in the chat where you're from and who you are. When we start reviewing the news articles, if you want to look at our Facebook page, just click here and you can follow the articles along as we go. See you in a moment. Good morning, afternoon, or wherever you are. I'm Ron Brown. I'll be your host today. This is Tech for Senior Live. This is a 1-hour show where we review the news of the week. We're going to talk about all sorts of exciting things, including internet today and how you can get that. We'll talk initially about Comcast and then some of your options. And to help us with that, we've assembled a group of people, an esteemed group of people all across the world, we'll call it. And we have them here waiting to answer your questions and have a good time for the next hour. We're going to, but who are we? Well, we're a group of seniors who have a Monday show called Tech for Senior. And on the Monday show, which I guess we're coming up to our 4th year. And it's an exciting time. So we all do the Monday show, which is a Zoom show. And we do it on Zoom and then broadcast it out to YouTube. So if you're over in our Zoom meeting waiting for this show, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong spot. We're broadcasting this through a StreamYard and is broadcasting to YouTube and to Facebook. If you see on screen, you'll see that if you want to find out how to get here, www.techforsenior.com, there's a big button at the top. Just hit that button and it'll take you right to the show and you'll be able to enjoy the show with us today. Today, we're going to, as I said, we'll be with you for an hour. Now, the problem we have in the show is we don't know who's out there. We're sitting here and you might think we're in a studio, but we're actually not. We're all across the continent. So we have no idea who's listening. And the only way that we can tell who's listening is by everyone putting in the chat where they're from, maybe what the weather is. Speaking of weather, I got something to show you guys. Guess what this is? This is my lawn. This is what I mowed yesterday. This is the first cut of the year, and that is my lawn. So all of you who have snow on your lawns, that's just too bad. But that's our first. The flowers are coming up, and this is life on Vancouver Island. That's where I live in Comox, British Columbia. So put in the notes. Maybe has anyone cut their lawn yet? That'll be an interesting one. Anyway, yes, and we do of course podcast this out, so it'll be out on our podcast. And we do have a website, which I did tell you about, www.techforsenior.com. And what I wanted to let everyone know, as we go through the articles today and look at different ones, if you want to go to our Facebook page, you can certainly follow them along on our Facebook page. Well, let me introduce everybody, and I'm going to go around the screen. I want to, of course, introduce Huey, my partner and co-host on our Monday show, Huey Popluck. He was the host last Monday. I had the day off, so well done, Huey.
Yeah, not rocket science, and I had a good time.
You did well, and you're a radio broadcaster from the past, so you do really well with that. So good job, and Oh, gee, I guess I got an Amazon. I guess I got an Amazon parcel. um, and then of course we have.
And I
Go ahead.
Hmm.
Did Huey lock up?
No, I'm here.
Okay. And then of course we have our security expert from our Monday show. He's been with us since day one. He's not only is he a tough guy, he's an ex-boxer, and he'll keeps us on the straight and narrow. So, but he's also a really nice guy and a man who does incredible numbers of YouTube videos. He makes a lot of videos because he's such a smart guy. He imparts his knowledge to us. So thank you for all you do, Bob. You're just it's just great having you on the show.
I got to get it in while I still can.
You said you want to live to 100, or what did you say?
140. No, 100 is too close.
And then, of course, we have our music director from our Monday show.
I didn't cut my grass.
You didn't cut your grass yet?
I have a lawn. I have weeds.
You have tumbleweeds.
And they're not ready for cutting yet.
Yeah, they have tumbleweeds. And then, of course, we have our music director who is on our Monday show. He's his claim to fame is he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet, right? And he also is the president of APCUG and the treasurer. They give him all his money, so he's a real honest guy. The only problem is he lives in Pine, Arizona, and he has to go out and shovel snow all the time. And sometimes that makes it difficult connecting to our show, right, Ray?
Well, as the older I get, the less shoveling I do.
You just wait a day or two and it melts, right?
Exactly, and it gets warmer. And but this particular February, we had more storms. Not a lot of accumulation, 5 to 8 inches each time, but every Wednesday. And Wednesday is the day they collect the garbage, so the trash. So we had a few issues, but we're over it now, and now it's beautiful days. And I think spring is here.
You were telling us earlier about your automated lawnmower. It is what? How do you mow your grass?
The elk come into my yard and they do an outstanding job, and plus they're fun to watch.
And you don't have to pay them either, do you?
Not at all.
Not at all. Eh?
Well, it's what you could call all you can eat. It's like a buffet.
Really?
It's like a buffet.
Like a buffet. There you go. well done.
Spring has sprung and the grass is riz. I wonder where the birdies is.
Yeah.
Did you do that from Chat GPT? Did you just run that by Chat GPT?
No, that's long before Chat GPT. But don't forget this Saturday night, spring ahead. Spring has sprung.
But I think, Ray, you're the only one it affects, doesn't it?
It affects me. Now I have to remember what time it is elsewhere. Arizona and Florida, Arizona and Hawaii are the two states that do not observe daylight savings time. We stay standard time all year long. And I always thought, that's going to be great when I moved to Arizona. Don't have to change my clocks twice a year. No, it's remembering what time it is elsewhere has become the new issue.
That's right.
And hopefully we're going to have that problem soon if Congress votes it and the president signs it into law. Florida already voted for it, but it has to be passed by Congress before it goes into effect.
Your senator is leading the charge.
Yes, the senator and the rep from my area.
Yes, and they said on the news on British Columbia yesterday that the bill is already passed and signed. It's just waiting for it's approved and everything. They're just waiting for Washington, Oregon, and California to all make it to get approved and then rest. So it's all going to be.
You locked up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just passed, and we're just waiting. It's going to synchronize with Oregon, California, and Washington. So we'll all be on the same. Huey, anybody listening to us today?
Yeah, we got a few people out there.
Mike Ungerman, of course. Mike is going to be on the show on Monday. He's doing his EV car presentation on it. It's going to be on batteries. And Mike, I should be able to report my car. I should have my new EV car by then, hopefully. So I got the first light to be sure thumbs up when you start viewing today. Yeah, that give us a thumbs up if you can do that. That'd be great. Thanks, Mike. Gerald Smith, West Seattle, 36 degrees and light rain. Jolyn Bowler will join you momentarily, just finishing up a call, and I look forward to the stream. Thanks, Jolyn. Jolyn is doing tech work. She's a tireless worker in the Low Country and on the East Coast. And Ray, you should talk to, do you know Jolyn? You should talk to Jolyn. Her computer club has, I think it's over 1,000 members. They have 5 people doing support. It's I have no idea how they're so successful.
I believe her club did join APCUG.
Yeah, like it's just unbelievable the number of people they had. That is a huge success for the club. And Jolyn's been there. She told me she got an award the other day because she's been doing tech support the longest. She's the original tech support. She helps us with the our Learning Chromebook show, right? Because Huey and I do a session once a month. It's a Learning Chromebooks, and we do an hour-long Chromebook session that you're certainly, if you have a Chromebook, you're thinking about a Chromebook, please come and see us. And you can www Tech for Senior. All the information's right there for you.
Her reputation precedes her.
Yeah. Ivana Stewart, Argyle, Texas. Richard Clarkson, Monrovia, California, not Canada. 55 degrees right now. Rain coming tonight for tomorrow. More rain. Yikes. Ed Weiss, Central New Jersey, 48 degrees and sunny. Bernard DeFazio, Sterling Heights Computer Club, Detroit, Michigan, and cold. Irving from Deerfield Beach, Florida, 76 degrees. Today, need rain.
Yeah, we do here in Florida.
Talk to the folks in California.
Yeah. Liz Milford says, hi from sunny Ohio, 42 degrees. So that's great. And Liz says sunny.
Here we go.
Gina Butler from Oklahoma City, where Bill James is from, and Richard Clarkson. Everyone click the thumbs up button to help TFS out. Yes, it does help us. Thanks, Richard, for doing that. That's great. That's great. Bob Baxter, a regular on our show. Belleville, Washington, 38 degrees Fahrenheit, light rain, heading for 50. Bob, have you mowed your grass yet? I want to know if Bob's mowed his. I'm sure in Washington he's got green grass. I wonder if he's mowed it yet. Mike Ungerman, I got the first like. Be sure to thumbs up when start viewing today. Thanks, Mike. And yes, Ron, I'm smiling today as the sun is shining and my car is charging. See what I'm using to charge in Monday's presentation. Yes, you won't want to miss our Monday show. It's going to be a really good show. So if you can, join us on Monday. Again, details at www.techforsenior.com. Sally Ann says, having fun with Google Lens. Yes, that's great. And Richard Clarkson says, I like Google Lens too, Sally Ann. Yes. Steve Parker, Bob, live forever or die trying.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah. Bill from Oregon. Neil Forrester, hi from Street in Somerset, UK, raining. Oh, summer, really? Neil Forrester from Somerset, UK, raining 41 degrees. So Neil this is interesting, from the UK. So wow, we're broadcasting to a different continent, right? Neil, that's great. Is this Neil's first time here? Is he been here before? Do you know?
I don't recall.
I don't recognize.
We'll give him our usual round of applause for coming. Neil, that's great. I wonder if you could put in the comments or chat how you found out about us. That's great. Thank you for.
Always good to know.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you for being here. Betty from Clearwater, Florida. Lawn crew came and trimmed on Monday. Yes. Richard says, Bill H., I lived in Grants Pass Grants Pass. Yeah, I used to go through Grants Pass on the way back up from Mesa. That's a interesting place. He lived there for 7 years. Looks a lot different there now. Yeah, it's interesting. That's Love your show. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
That's
Oh,
cool.
thank you.
I talk to Richard frequently in our, we have a group we meet once a day, and I often talk to Richard. I didn't know Richard lived in Grants Pass, so I want to talk to him about that. That's an interesting, it's the big pass you have to go through when you're coming back up from California into Oregon. So it was always the scary part of the trip because it could snow and get really bad weather there.
He donated $20 to us through, I guess it's through YouTube. How does one do that?
Well, I'll tell you about that after. Let's
Okay.
get on with. Sorry, John says, "Wow, Richard, awesome." And thank you, Ron and Huey, for your kind words. Well, you deserve it, Jolin. You deserve
Yeah,
it.
she definitely does.
She does, Jolin. Thank you. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yep. JJ, Lake Country area computer enthusiast from Waukegan. Did I do it okay? Waukegan?
Yeah.
Did I get it?
Yep.
Waukegan,
Yep.
Illinois, 36 degrees and waiting for a snow rain mix tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's good. So we should get on with maybe doing a job here. People have probably come to listen to the news and what we're going to talk about, right?
Yep.
So the story we're going to talk about for the initially was this story, which was hate Comcast Xfinity Internet. Here are 4 other home internet options you may love. And that was from Corn Cutters News. So Cord Cutters News. So I guess what I wanted to talk about today are what are your options. Now, I have to I'll tell you that. We'll get onto there in a minute. But one of the things that it was on the news yesterday in Canada on the national news was, of course, the big investigation into the price of internet, and the CRT is looking at the internet providers and wondering, why it's costing so much. So, because if you don't have internet, you're really, really in a big pickle, right? This is sort of like water, like having fresh water, right? You really need internet. So how do you get internet? It's very interesting. And of course, I guess the one thing I can tell everybody, which is so important, is that it is changing every day. It's so dynamic that it's important that you review your internet services on a regular basis because the options are incredible and lots of things are changing. Now, I did want to tell you about my experience because I was talking earlier. Bob has Comcast. Bob, did you ever have the Xfinity gateway? Did you ever have the their television?
No, I have a commercial account, so I'm actually through Comcast, not Xfinity.
Okay.
Comcast is now their commercial. Xfinity is everybody else. But the cheaper Xfinity gives you much better speed than the more expensive Comcast.
So to give everyone just an idea how this is all working, in Canada, west of Winnipeg, which is in the middle of Canada, so to speak, is all Shaw Cable, right? If you want cable services, it is all completely controlled by one company, and that's Shaw. And Shaw buys all their equipment, all right, for they have a product called Blue Curve TV, which is the same thing as Xfinity, and they buy all their equipment from Comcast. So this is the modem router that I have in my house. Now, you may remember that I never did have this. I had, of course, the Orbi system, which is a mesh router. Quite liked it. I had no problem. I was hooked to Shaw Cable using my Orbi mesh router. It worked fine. Everything was cool. Not a problem. So why did I ditch my Orbi and why did I go to this system, which was the Xfinity Gateway? And there were 2 reasons, but the main reason was I had an old cable system in the house where it stored my television shows on this old cable box, right? And it was that old system where it was a locally stored on your own system. With the new system, with the Xfinity system, or they call it Blue Curve in Canada, we call it Blue Curve TV. It's wireless. It's wireless. All your televisions, I have 5 TVs in the house, and they're all connected to that box wirelessly, and it works very well. So that was the reason that I made the change. So it is sometimes better to look at your own cable services and what you have and try and fit it with your home. And I like it. It works well. I have a 1.5 gigabit service coming into the house, which is real fast. It all works on a remote app on my phone. So it's a pretty cool service that I'm pretty pleased with. But that is a cable service, right? So not everybody has access to that cable service. So the next thing is I wanted to talk about Verizon 5G home internet, because of course we've been talking about 5G a lot over the past few years. And now, of course, Verizon offers a home internet wirelessly. So this can actually be a good option for you. If you are already a Verizon customer, you may be eligible to get the 5G 5G home internet for as little as $25 a month. So 5G is really changing a lot of what we have today, because you're able to get this through a wireless service through Verizon. Any comments on that, guys? Huey, any thoughts on that?
Not really. I use a company called Frontier, but going back to the beginning of the discussion with all of this, almost all of the cable companies are going to go wireless,
Right?
And they're pretty much going to do without cable. It's all going to be
right.
Internet only, and they're going to be streaming everything.
Right.
And so you really need to see what your options are in every area. In
That's
every
right.
area, it's different.
Correct. And it's changing. It is also changing rapidly.
Yes.
Right? So
yeah,
that's
and the price for fiber optics has come down, and they're putting fiber optics in more and more places as well.
Well, remember on Monday's show, we had one of our viewers said they lived in a condo and they had an existing cable service in their condo strata, whatever. And a new company was coming in and they were putting fiber into that area. And so she was wondering what to do. So it's something that, look at it, look at the pricing, look at what they have to offer, because the competition's heating up and you might get a better deal, right? And Bob, Bob's got a brand new tower right next to him. It's under his house, and
I'm waiting for a phone to arrive now from one of Verizon's subs, which is called Visible by Verizon, and I will have that $35 a month. So I'll be trying for a month, and they offer under the 35 unlimited Wi-Fi hotspot. So I want to see what it will do when I use it, because that's the only thing I'm going to use that phone for. So I have a new phone number that's going to be added. Who cares? I'm not using it as a phone. I simply want to test the hotspot. And if the hotspot works, then I'm going to go to Verizon and say, hey, I want the home internet 5G. Even though you tell me it's not available, well, if it works with the phone, it's got to be available. They don't realize 8 miles away that we have a brand new tower just put up over here. That's what happens when big corporation doesn't talk to its subs.
All right. And then, of course, another one is T-Mobile.
Let me make a comment, Ron, if I can.
Go ahead, Ray.
The first question to ask is, where do you live?
Right.
And all of these wonderful services are great if you live in a large metropolitan area with a large population. But if you live in a rural or semi-rural area like I do, your options are much less. Now, as an example, Verizon home internet services are starting to become available in this part of Arizona, but not where I live. I went on and looked to see if my address was available, and it said not currently available. Yet Verizon offers the best cell phone coverage in this area than all of the others. So they're putting their features and their services where they're going to get the best return, large population areas.
Absolutely. And so let's look at T-Mobile, not to be outdone. Starting at just $50 a month will auto pay and price lock guarantees. T-Mobile home internet is a great option for many T-Mobile will pay for $750 in termination fees to help you break free from Comcast. So, so,
if
so
it weren't for Comcast, I wouldn't be able to use my phone, which is on T-Mobile, because they
right.
got no service where I am. Okay, so yeah, they want me to break away from T-Mobile, which is the only thing that's actually keeping my phone going.
So it's complicated, but I'm saying is you shouldn't be just sitting there not looking at your options, because your options are always changing and probably for the better. And then of course, Huey, we have SpaceX Starlink is a great option, especially if Ray was saying you live more in a rural area. Now you're looking at, I guess, starting at around $90 a month for home internet service. So
It's actually gone up to about 120 now.
about 120 now, yeah.
And the initial package is now $600.
Yeah.
For the initial,
Yeah, it's not meant for somebody who has other choices. It's for
Right.
those people who have no choice.
Right.
Exactly right.
Right.
When I originally moved to Meadow Lake, we had no services. The only thing available was up from a satellite.
Right.
And it was terrible service, but it was better than dial up. And that was the option I had.
I had dial-up when I first moved here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then finally Comcast came in. So I was very happy when Comcast got out here, because even though it wasn't the fastest, it was certainly a whole lot better than getting it off a satellite.
Mhm.
We didn't have Starlink back then. So
True. Huey, any comments before we move on to the news article?
There are a few out there all about what we're talking about.
Mike says, I upgraded my home network to a Netgear Orbi about 5 years ago. I kept it when I got AT&T fiber, much better wireless connectivity than AT&T's native wireless. Yeah, I love my Orbi. I thought it was a great system. It's a mesh system. The only reason I changed to the Comcast Xfinity or what we call Blue Curve is I really wanted the wireless connection for it's a really big advantage not to have cable connecting directly to your TVs. And so it actually, that really worked quite well for us.
Yeah, Mike also played with, and I think he still has it, is one of the T-Mobile home hotspots for
Right.
$50 a month, and he uses it as a backup. If his system goes down, he's got that to use.
Right.
You know, and I tried T-Mobile here in this part of Arizona, and they actually are. They don't have it in where I live in Pine, but the next biggest city about 18 miles away is Payson, and my friend George has it there, and he raves about it. But one interesting comment he told me when we talked about it, he gets it fine. His neighbor has it, and often his neighbor has problems. Why? Because you have to be line of sight to the tower. If you're not really good line of sight, it's going to give you issues.
Yeah, we had that with T-Mobile in our Silver Ridge, in the RV park I used to live in. If you lived in the north part of the park, you could get T-Mobile. If you lived in the south, across the line over on the south side, not so good. So
that's something you have to take into consideration.
Yeah. Murray from Victoria. Good morning from Victoria, BC. CRTC has just ordered all major internet companies to reduce the cost to third-party providers who lease services from the majors by 10% immediately. See, I told you it was a big item yesterday on the news. Thanks, Murray. That's great. Good news. Vale, yes. Vale and I go back a long way fixing computers at Silver Ridge. In fact, he was the one that prompted me to buy the Orbi system just when it came out. The mesh routers had just came out, and Vale and I had a long talk one afternoon, and I decided that, okay, that's the route I'm going to go so I can talk about it the following year. For $20 a month, I got $950 down and $20 up from Infinity Cable. 5G through T-Mobile gives $300 down and $50 up. Lots of options. Now, I guess Vale's in Denver. I think he's in I use T-Mobile as a backup via a hotspot unlimited. Yeah, lots of. Jolin says my Orbi works great. Yeah, it's a good system. So that's good. Yes, So the bottom line I want people to go away thinking about is just keep looking. Talk to Verizon. Talk to T-Mobile. Don't just have your package, and you'll see some of the problems with just keeping old packages on the news today, some of the articles that came up. So speaking of articles, let's get on with it. Okay. Are you ready to roll, you guys?
Sounds good.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
don't forget to refresh.
All right. We'll see. All right. Let's have a look here. Let's just refresh this and see what we got. Well, Bob, you rascal, you got the first. No wonder you wanted me to refresh. You got the first. All right, tell us about the first article.
10 who knew uses for aluminum foil. If you got aluminum foil, it can be used for a lot more than just wrapping leftovers.
Well, it's
Watch
good for
the
making
video.
hats too.
Oh, lots of things.
To
Funnels,
protect-
all kinds of things.
Make an aluminum foil hat so you can protect yourself.
There you go. All right. Let's see if we can pass that. Yes. Now this came out this morning. This was an interesting. I'll just put that up so people can see it. Microsoft Edge can now use AMD and NVIDIA's GPUs to upscale web videos. So if you do have an NVIDIA card, you may want to look at this article and have a look at that.
A high-end NVIDIA
Right.
and a high-end AMD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's pretty cool. We'll be talking a lot about Microsoft Edge, and Bob has at least 150 videos out about it as well. So.
At least.
At least. This is about the in Canada, the CRT, talking about internet prices. It's if you don't have internet, it's like you don't have water, so it's a big problem, right? Now George wasn't on the list this morning, but George Bowden from Victoria gave a talk on the Raspberry Pi last Monday, and you can make a camera, $50, and you got a great camera with your Raspberry Pi. So I thought, well, that's interesting. Anyway, if you are interested in tinkering, you may want to replay last week's show. Oh my gosh. As you heard earlier in the show, my Ring doorbell went off, and of course all the alarms in the house went off. I really do like my Ring doorbell. Ring announced this morning that they have a new doorbell coming out, that their battery in the doorbell lasts 3 times longer. So if you are thinking about a new doorbell or thinking about the Ring doorbell, you may want to have a look at this article because it's a brand new doorbell coming out, and
I think I read it's $169 or $179. They do have a wired and a battery operated one.
Yeah, I have the wired one, so I don't have to worry about batteries.
I paid $300 to have electricity run to my front door so I could use a wired one.
A wired one, yeah.
But mine comes from Wise.
Yeah.
It wasn't that expensive.
I bet that triple battery life, I bet you that's going to last about a year. I bet you it lasts about a year.
I wonder if it's a different battery or it just is not using as much juice.
Good question. Don't know.
Because the picture there shows the current batteries, but it's not even available yet. You can do pre-orders, and I think it's coming out sometime towards the end of April.
I think that, but the point here is if you are considering a doorbell, hey, there's a new one on.
And you don't have electricity at the door.
That's
then
right.
This is what you'll be using.
Google One. So we talked about this a bit before, but is now includes Google One. All the plans include a free VPN.
Yep.
I don't know. Is it available now?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Been using it for about a week and a half or so.
Yep. So all the plans now, if you have Google One, then you get the VPN, Bob?
Yes, and it is a well reviewed and a good product. So it's not something you have to worry about.
It gets the Bob Gasteich's seal of approval.
Hey, for me, it's something I already have Google One, so I'm getting something else for free. And I love some things that are free.
Right.
Yeah, I have Google One. I'll have to take a look at it.
All right.
Yeah, and it's all plans of Google One, even the $2 per month. You don't have to have. It used to be just if you had the 2 gig, but this is all Google One plans.
Yeah.
If you have Google One installed on your phone, and you have a service where you pay $1.99 plus tax, I think you can get the free VPN.
Is it only on the phone, Bob?
No.
Okay.
No, but you that's where you get to see what your services are.
Okay.
Is on your phone because you have the app on the phone.
So the next one is Roku's latest software update brings local news, more live sports, and new mobile app. However, if you read into the article, Roku now has their own television series. So I know that TCL had Roku's in it, but now you buy Roku TVs, and Best Buy is going to be selling them. And not only that, but Roku is actually going to have, well, they have their own streaming services now. But watch out, Netflix. Like, Roku is a big company and they're making some big changes. Lots of interesting things in that article. Yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but big things coming from Roku. Oh, this was interesting. Let me just open this up. So this said, so Bing's explosive user growth, and Bob's talked a lot, and this all has to do with Chat GPT. Microsoft's executive said that Bing now has 100 million active daily users. This is the first time Microsoft's search engine has crossed this mark. So obviously, Chat GPT is making this amazing. He also noted roughly 1/3 of the millions of active Bing users are new to the service. So these are people that are coming from far away, mostly Google. And the first mission is the Edge browser continued performance, recording, and continued growth. So it is it a viable Google alternative? Well, of course. So it is. It goes on to talk a little bit about it. Really, Google is certainly going to be the major search engine for a long time in the future, but this is certainly going to take a big dent in it. So very interesting. Bob, you've talked a lot about this, and you've got a lot of thoughts about it. How much do you think? Like it's amazing how this has really taken off, eh?
Well, I have the Edge browser, and on the Edge browser, it uses Bing for the search engine because you also get points when you use the Bing search engine, which you can turn into money. But that's not my default browser. In Chrome, I have an app that allows me to go there. And actually, I showed you a video of how to get Chat GPT onto your system tray or your taskbar so that anytime you want to go just right to that search or the chat part, you just click on your icon in your taskbar and it opens it up for you. So I don't have to have a browser open at all in order to get to that function.
Huey.
Yes. Luma Fusion is now available on Chrome OS and Android. Luma Fusion is a video editing software that works on even phones. It's more robust than most, but it's not a Camtasia by any means. But it's still available now on Chrome OS and Android. It costs $30. It's not free. It was originally just iOS, and now it's going to be available for Android and the Chrome OS.
Interesting. Best DALI-E alternatives?
Yeah, it's an interesting article. The DALI is like Chat GPT, and it's actually from the same people. But what it is, it's to create pictures by putting text in, and it creates pictures for you. Well, there's some other alternatives out there that you can use. And this article gives you some to use and try.
All right.
Some are free, some aren't.
I know Bob's done a lot of videos about Deli E.
Yeah, I'm playing with a lot of these things. I subscribe to a newsletter that every day there's probably 15 or 20 new links to services that are available that will either do text or do something like ChatGPT, or it's for a specific industry, just for lawyers or just for something else. And so there's so much of it out there, but very little of it's free. Most of it's $10 to $25 a month.
Mm-hmm. And then this is fake Chat GPT.
Yeah, and so of course the bad guys, right, Bob, are always looking ways to get to us. Not only do they use Chat GPT to create things, but they're also creating fake apps to spread Windows and Android malware. And this is an article about that.
10 brands to launch. This think your article?
Yeah, I posted. Yeah, there's 10 brands this year will launch nearly 40 foldable devices in 2023, and I think it was Ray who said that this probably is going to be the year of foldables, and it looks like he's pretty right, spot on. There's a couple of new brands that will be coming out, plus Google will be adding to the list of brands that are available with foldables probably later this year.
And it's always good to make the distinction between a foldable phone and a flip phone.
Right.
Yes.
What you're seeing the picture of is the foldable phone that gives you almost like a small tablet, whereas a flip phone is, which I love it just because it's so much easier to carry around.
Yeah, you really like you have the Flip 3, right? The Samsung.
The Samsung Flip 3, right?
Yeah.
And then,
yeah, you like it. You really like it.
No, I love it.
Okay, that's good. Ray, what are we going to the moon?
Well, what time is it on the moon? So, with daylight savings time ready to begin this Sunday morning, I just thought this would be a worthwhile read. With so many countries sending unmanned missions to the moon these days, and they all use the time in their local country. So you have to, it's too difficult. So they want to come up with a time zone for the moon that everybody will follow. And it's going to be known as the lunar time.
Very good. Bob, what are you holding us up there? Unmute yourself.
The doorbell that you heard, I also got a package. This is the phone I'm waiting
that's
for,
the phone.
so I can try and make sure that we actually get Verizon's internet access up here.
All right, there you
That's-
go. So
been
more
waiting
on
for
that
this.
more on that on the Monday show, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So lunar time, Ray. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be a little loony though to follow it.
Yeah, we here on the Monday show on lunar time, won't that? We'll set it up for lunar time.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
All right.
Collisions
So
in
this is
space.
something it's been on my mind a little bit for several years now, with all the satellites and everything else, Starlink, etc., going up. This possibility for collisions must be increasing. Well, sure enough, the International Space Station has built into their system the ability to swerve to avoid collisions. And there was an Earth imaging satellite that was coming in this direction, and the space station had to actually move to get away from it. By somebody's measurement, there are 27,000 pieces of orbital debris. So this can only get worse.
Yeah, and I was reading an article about IoT. There's a lot of IoT devices have their own satellites. They're small, much smaller than even the SpaceX Starlinks. They're just up there, and so and then Starlink's adding thousands of more, and OneWeb is doing another. They either did this week or will be doing this coming week. Another launch of their satellites. And then, of course, the Chinese are getting into it. And I believe the Indians are as well, from India, are as well. So Yeah, there are going to be a lot more things out there.
There's even some Middle Eastern countries. I think Qatar also is now in this area. So it's amazing, and like I said, it can only get worse. Talk
Yep.
about traffic jams on Earth. We now have them.
All right, and the other one, Ray, is the new changes at Spotify.
Well, Spotify has made a major overhaul now. I personally don't use Spotify, but it is the largest streaming service in the world. So I'm sure there's a lot of our friends who are listening who do have Spotify on their phone. This is a major overhaul. It's supposed to increase better interaction between creators and users. And the rollout is starting now, although it's going to take several months because Spotify has over 500 million active monthly users.
Wow.
But if you are a Spotify user, this is an article worth reading just to see what it's going to be like.
Very good. Thanks. Huey, are there any comments we should deal with before we move on?
Let me go back to StreamYard. I've been looking at what we're showing on Facebook because it's bigger. Let's see where we left off. Right here, I believe.
Richard says we have the
2
sorry,
terabytes.
you have to have the 2 terabyte option though.
No,
And
that
that's-
just
no.
changed.
Yeah,
That just changed. It used to be that you had to have the 2 terabyte option. It has now
That's- that-
changed. Any
that's Google.
One, any
Yep.
Google One account.
Jolin says, thanks. I am a Google One customer. Yep. Mike Ungerman, if one uses a VPN due to privacy concerns, Google would be the last choice for me for a VPN, free or not. Richard said, Huey, could you put the link to video you mentioned without putting Chat GPT on taskbar? Put the video.
I'll have to go looking for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't have a way to
Just
do
go-
that.
Just go to my. You can't do it in here. We can't.
No,
We can't do that in this
StreamYard.
format. In
StreamYard.
StreamYard. Just go to my YouTube channel, and you'll find it's one of the fairly newer.
You one's okay.
Yeah, because that's how I did it. I followed Bob's video.
Jolin, what is Bob holding up? New phone.
Yeah,
that
well,
is-
we covered that.
Yep.
Jim Glass today from Arcadia. This is Jim Glass. How about a program for 4GS on Google One? I'm using it, but I find it confusing. Thanks. So maybe that's something we should think about. Maybe is doing something on Google One and use that for our for the show on Monday. Might be a good idea. Thanks, Jim. That's a good idea.
What's
I'll think about it.
GS?
Program for probably about Tech for Senior on Google One. So maybe that's maybe
No,
that's a
it
good.
says how about a program for GS on Google One? What is GS?
I think he's probably meant Tech for Senior on that, eh? Ivana Stewart, what a great opportunity for jobs cleaning up space debris. I think I would invest in a company doing that. Yeah, that's a good one, eh?
Long-time career goal.
Yeah.
Somebody just ring my Ring doorbell. I'll be backing them home.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
It's
doorbell's
the
been
day
going crazy.
today.
Yeah. All
Ray,
right.
are you waiting for something too?
No, I don't have any. Well, occasionally I had deliveries here. I normally have to go to the post office to pick mine up.
All right, Bob. Disinformation. This is your article.
Yep. From disinformation to deep fakes, how threat actors manipulate reality. As I said before, it's getting worse. You've got to really, really be careful. Verify the source. Just by looking at it or listening to it, that's not going to work anymore. You can't automatically assume when you look at a picture, it's the real thing. Or when you hear somebody's voice, it's actually their voice. That's one of the problems with AI. It's getting pretty darn good.
So, Bob, if I get a call from you saying, Ron, I'm in trouble, can you send me $1,000? Do you want me to call you first, or do you think What do you think I
Well,
should
that
do?
one is an obvious. That one's an obvious thing that belongs in the spam or the trash. But if it's something that's
Yeah.
not so obvious, then
Right.
yeah, call and verify,
Right.
email and verify, but verify before you assume.
Right. I think we've talked about this, so we'll pass on that.
Yes,
Uh,
I got there before you, but it didn't matter.
right.
First is last when it comes to going through these articles.
Exactly. Google I/O is in. It is going to be May the 10th. So this is the big Google announcement. They are going to have I/O this year, and it will be on May the 10th. So look for all the announcements. Maybe the foldable phone we'll look at, but it'll be on May the 10th. So if we are sort of thinking googly, then you want to think about new products coming out at
Which
Yeah,
roughly.
means
Ron,
all
we
the
have.
leaks,
Go ahead.
all the leaks are going to happen between now and then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Right. That's right.
I missed this one, and it's from somebody I don't recognize the name. So I think she's new. Or
Oh, yeah. Okay. Raylan Barrett. Yes, I'm needing some support about my Cash app. Yes, I am needing some sort about my
and that
Cash.
was right after the thing from this one. So I'm
Oh,
not
from
sure
Tim
what.
Glass. Okay. Yeah. Raylan, if you are new, we haven't seen you before, so big handout for you. And so thank you for coming and listening to the show. If you,
Yeah, I'm not sure which Cash app she's talking about.
yeah, I'm not sure. So if you could maybe let us know where you're from, how you found out about us, maybe put something in the chat.
Yeah.
That would be great.
And what
let's-
you're looking for.
And what
Yep.
you're looking for, and maybe we can get it on our Monday show for you and go over it for you. Let's look down here. Yes, this is an interesting. A shockingly high number of Americans have cut the cord as the death of cable TV draws near. Well, you
Yeah,
were talking about that.
Yeah, and I'm noticing I've been talking to my neighbors. More and more of them have been asking me questions about some of the services that are available, and I'm finding that some of my neighbors who are really not technology savvy have cut the cable, and they're fighting how to use it and so on. But they're a lot of them have cut the cable here,
Yeah.
even in my retirement community. Yep.
Yeah, big time. Bob, what is mushrooms and keyboard? What are mushrooms and
Well, mushrooms are powering this PC.
what?
Not a very powerful PC, but it is a PC, and they're using mushrooms to power it.
Well, we got to talk to Mike about that for his show on Monday. He needs alternative
You
power
need-
versus mushrooms. Mike,
you
I
need
hope you're listening.
You need one heck of an amount of mushrooms in order to make it work for something more powerful. But
I knew
that's
I
another form of energy.
I knew I
you
should have
imagine
followed
that-
my.
Go ahead, Yui.
I knew I should have followed my father's footsteps. My father was a mushroom grower all his life. That's what he did for a living. What he did for a living, and I never went into it. So maybe I should have.
Can you imagine filling up at the gas station?
Oh, so here's a good one. Yeah, did you guys see the article about Lynchfield, Kentucky? This
You haven't
Tennessee,
moved up.
Lynchfield,
We
Tennessee.
can't see it.
No, I don't have the article up. But did you
Oh.
did you guys read the article from Lynch? So,
Oh.
what is made there? What is made in Lynchfield, Tennessee? What's made there?
Probably
Booze.
some whiskey,
Booze.
bourbon whiskey.
It is, but what it's Jack
Yeah.
Daniels, right? That's the
Yes,
big Jack.
absolutely.
So the interesting thing about this is like it's a big complex, like massive, and they make a lot of whiskey, but the vapors and the exhaust part of in the whiskey process, there's there's a vapor or an exhaust that comes out, and this actually creates an opportunity for fungus to grow. And the whole community around Lynchfield is now plagued with black mold all over their gardens and all their chairs. And this has got really bad over the last 5 years. And the reason this came up was because, of course, Jack Daniels is is planning a big expansion on their property for more barrels and more distillery, right? And they can't get a building permit from the town because they're fed up with all this mold all over the town. So I thought I didn't put it on there because it's not a technical article, but I thought it was a really interesting one. All right. Bob, this is your article. Dryer sheets.
Dryer sheets uses that actually work. You probably use dryer sheets to make your laundry smell fresh and feel soft. But these handy little sheets can do a whole lot more than just improve your clothing. Watch the video.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier. So yeah, this is really worrisome, isn't it, Bob?
Yes. Because you can't tell the fake from the real thing, which is why I said you have to verify.
Right. That's really, now I'm getting a bit nervous.
Yeah, are we really listening to Ron, or is it an AI voice?
All right. The other one is, has anyone seen Google Docs has a new design to match Gmail? So has anyone seen this? I don't have it yet. This is just was in an article this week, but I don't have this yet. Does anyone notice the logos are all changing?
Yeah, I don't have it yet either.
Yeah, it hasn't been released yet. This is for those that are on betas or even before that on alpha versions.
I thought it was released this week, Bob. It's not released yet?
No.
Okay. Anyway, just let everyone know that there will be a material design in Google Docs. So that'll probably affect Chromebooks as well, Huey. So that might be something we'll put in our learning Chromebooks at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about some of these articles that we see out there. Not the ones that we put on here, but a lot of the articles talk about something that probably will be coming or will be coming, and we can't demonstrate it, we can't see it, and when it comes out, we don't hear anything.
I'm just looking here. I thought Google announced on its blog, in the coming weeks, you'll notice a new look and feel. So in the coming weeks, but anyway, that's so I thought I'd mention that.
Are they changing the Google Docs programs?
No, just the logo.
No.
Just the design of the icon.
Yeah. Eye candy changes.
Yeah. Now Chrome one, not Chrome OS, but Chrome on your browser is up to version 1.1.1. So make sure that you just hit that button and make sure you update it, and you'll get all the new features. Speaking of new features, I didn't notice any. Have you guys got 1.1.1? Did you see any difference or anything earth-shattering?
You read the article, it'll tell you.
No, the only thing is, remember that you now have tabs that go to sleep so that you're not using all those resources. That's the biggest one. Yeah.
Yep. I had
mine's actually updating itself right now to 1.12.
1.12. So you guys, I had an interesting thing happen this week. I got into I was messing around doing things on my computer, and all of a sudden a video I was watching the sound wouldn't play. And to make a long story short, I spent 3 hours in the afternoon looking at all my video settings and audio settings and trying to figure out this mess that I got myself into. And it ended up that it was the tab in Chrome that I had muted. And so just to remember, Jolyn, listen to this, because she does a lot of tech support. I can imagine people phoning in and saying, all of a sudden my sound went off. Well, I forgot that you can mute a tab, right, Bob?
Yeah, but there is a symbol that lets you know that there is sound under that tab, and it'll have the speaker either with a line through it when it's not playing, and so it's something else you have to be cognizant of, right?
That's right.
If you're not cognizant, then you
That's the
you
reason
can
I
go
brought
nuts
it up.
when you don't know.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah, I'm now on Chrome. On Chrome version 1.12.
1.12.
Yeah, Flex is up to 1.12 as well.
It is.
Mhm.
We're almost out of time.
Oh, hold on. We got the
Yeah.
last article. We're almost finished. Let's hold on. Let's we'll stop. We should probably go over we'll go over and we're just about finished. Oh my gosh. We should look at the last few comments. Time goes by so fast
When you're having a good time.
fun. I mean, you guys, do we have any articles? Vale says Apple is getting ready to release, yes, their M3 chip in eMac probably by July. I believe these computers will be the fastest on the market.
And are those the ones that Apple is making themselves?
Yes.
Yes.
The M3. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, they have the M1 and the M2 now. Oh, it's Jolin says it's Litchfield. Thanks, Jolin. I got an L in there. I was close. Jolin says those look like my icons for doc sheets and seven. Oh, maybe Jolin's got it. I don't know if she's on the beta. Maybe she's doing the beta as well. I just loaded it on my primary laptop. So, that happened to me yesterday. I muted the tab. I know you got to look for that. If you don't look for it, and I spent 3 hours screwing around trying to figure this out, but it was embarrassing, and it was just that's all it was. Jolin says I couldn't hear them, but they could hear me. Yep, Ron did a bit nuts on that one. Yep, Ron did go a bit nuts on that one. Michael, oh, thank you. Super sticker. Thanks, Michael. Yes, thank you so much. Don't forget the like and subscribe. Like us that if you're on YouTube, the YouTube feed, because we also send this over to YouTube, or sorry, to Facebook. But if you are on YouTube, just do the like and subscribe. That'd be great for us. We are past our hour now. I want to say goodbye to everyone. I want to thank Huey. I want to thank Bob and Ray for coming today. Thanks so much. Of course, we'll see them again on the show on Monday. We have a big show on Monday. Go ahead.
And
Huey.
don't forget, time change Saturday night.
Yep.
Yes.
And Sunday is the Windows SIG for CFCS and Stug, followed by the famous Bob G, who's going to be talking about AI for the main part of the meeting for CFCS. And it's on the same link as the WinSig. So all you have to do is just stay online and you'll be able to get to know everything there is to know about AI.
And I don't know about that one, Huey, because between now and Sunday, things will change.
They change every day.
All over again. Yep. Well,
right.
I can't wait for the show to end so I can charge this phone and get busy with seeing what 5G is like from Verizon.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, Bob, you can do a report on that on Monday, right?
We'll probably do a video before then.
Right. A couple more videos.
How about this afternoon?
Yeah.
No, the phone has to charge first.
All right, and thanks, Ray, for coming. And we'll see everybody. We'll see everybody on Monday, or we'll be back. We'll be back next Thursday. Same time.
We'll see you on Sunday, please.
We'll see you on Sunday as well. All right. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye now.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.